Professionally, well, there's a little bit more to that. Professionally, I am a real estate broker, and started my brokerage about 7 years ago. But I've been a real estate agent for about 15 years, and I've been in real estate from one way or another for about 20 years. I started out in the lending side, where I sold mortgages, beginning with a company called AmeriQuest back in the day. And then I moved on to other broker shops and, basically helping people get loans to buy houses or refinance their current mortgage. And then from there, I went down a path of sales, professional sales. I worked for Hertz Rental Car and was a manager of a couple of branches, which was a really great experience to learn the corporate sales model that I can then learn or teach to my real estate agents, currently. And then when I got out of that, it was around the time when the adjustment period was happening in 2008. And I went to one of my mentors who was a contractor, and I threw him this opportunity that had arisen for me just to see what he had to say. He's one of my mentors. And so I pitched him the whole idea and was like, so what do you think? What it was a body shop that wanted me to be an adjuster. And he's like, I don't love it. He's like, I think you're better than that. And I was like, I was really looking forward to getting out of the Hertz rental car career. And so I was a little bit bummed that he didn't like it. But he said, you should come see what I'm doing. I'm doing this thing called flipping houses, and you should, come do a ride along with me and see the fun I'm having. So I called in sick to Hertz, and I rode around with him in his truck and saw this amazing endeavor that he had opened up, which was buying houses for cheap, whether they're foreclosures or trustee sales, or even if they were just on the market and you could get them for a good deal. And then they would rehab them, they put some money into them, and then resell them. And we went around and saw maybe 10 or 12 houses that he had in different stages of the process. And I was so excited about the opportunity. And so he offered me a job. He actually said, I have the ship sailing, I just need somebody at the helm. And I went the next day and I quit Hertz, and within a week I had my new boots on and the keys to a company truck and a Rolodex full of all of the subs that he used in order to flip the houses, as well as he had a couple employees. And he said, go. And I really didn't know what I was doing, but I solved problems, and he knew I would. And so I learned on the job. And it didn't take me long for me to get it. Within a couple of months or so, I had a really good handle on the house flipping. And I did that for him for about 4.5 years, actually. It wasn't just him doing it. He had two other partners. One of them was a broker, and another guy was an investor. So the three of them would buy houses. They would hand them over to me. I would go and evaluate what the house needed, and I would put the game plan in place. And then we averaged a week and a half or so to get it back on the market. And I did that for 4.5 years. We flipped almost near 300. It was about probably 275 or so houses during that time. And in 2011, we were flipping 1.5 a week on average. So you can see the volume that we were doing during that time, and it was an education. It was like flipping college. It's funny to say it that way. It was me learning how to flip houses on their dollar, and it was awesome,